Hi, and welcome to Talk All Sports. Today we are going to be doing NFL predictions, and if you want to call, go to tell us your predictions. Go to 847-282-2128. So, Ben, tell us your MVP.
So for my MVP, I have Josh Allen.
Yeah, I also have Josh Allen. He's just still really young. He can play good and.
I also have Josh Allen. An odd unanimous because he's not like Patrick Mahomes as the favorite. But I don't want to be like too obvious, but I don't want to go like too deep because I didn't want to take too much time to think about it. And he's been my MVP pick for this year since the end of last year, so I'm not going to change it right now.
Okay, so Ben, who is your rookie of the year?
My offensive rookie of the year, I have Najee Harris on a Steelers team that's going to run the ball a lot. They like to use their running backs in a way where I think Najee will thrive. And I just think it's the perfect situation for him. Their defense is going to hold teams down, and they're going to have to run the ball a lot and shoot some clock, so I think Najee's the pick.
Yeah, my offensive rookie of the year is Trey Lance. It's a sleeper pick because he was not as well known as some names in college, but he can run the ball really well. He also has a really good arm, and
Alright, boring me. I'm going Trevor Lawrence. Sorry. He's just so talented at what he does, and I think he's gonna help the Jaguars win a lot more games than they did last year, and I think he's gonna hopefully elevate this franchise to kind of change their franchise around, and I think he's that talented of a quarterback to do so.
What do you think about Coach of the Year?
Coach of the year, as a Giants fan, I think Joe Judge will win it, but I'm not biased. I truly do think they will take a huge improvement. You'll see Daniel Jones become a top 20 QB, debatably top half. They added so many weapons to the offense and defense. You're going to see big steps just from everyone. The offensive line is pretty bolstered up, so I really think they'll be a good team this year.
And I think I don't want to be boring, but they've just been so good, and Andy Reid has done so much for the Chiefs. I think Andy Reid wins Coach of the Year.
I'm going to go with Sean McDermott of the Bills. I personally thought he should have been the Coach of the Year last year for 13-3. I think they're going to elevate on that. I have them having the MVP. I think they could compete for the 1 seed in the Super Bowl. I'm going to go with Sean McDermott.
Okay, so Ben, who do you think is going to win?
Whose phone is ringing? Mine.
All right, so we have a caller.
Whose phone is ringing?
Hello, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Sam. I know you said that Joe Judge, the Giants coach, is your pick to win Coach of the Year. I'm just wondering what makes you think that, considering that they haven't really added a lot of offensive weapons, and in the past they haven't shown signs of improvement offensively.
Well, Saquon Barkley, I think, is going to have a very big bounce back year, especially with an O-line that I think has made a lot of improvements, and Andrew Thomas is going to take a big second year improvement. And then their defense also has improved with Adoree Jackson. I think James Bradbury is going to take a step. You're going to see just a lot of improvement, and I think they're just so solid all around. And in a fairly poor NFC East, I think they have the potential to win 10 or more games.
Okay, and for Comeback Player of the Year, who do you have, Ben?
Comeback Player of the Year, I have Dak. It's going to be quarterback bias. He's already in a great situation with the Cowboys. He has 3 very good receivers and a running back that can do work for him. I just think he'll get it. Quarterback bias is everything in a way for this award. And his injury was so brutal where I just think it has to be him.
Britt?
It's Beck, but it's fine. And I'm actually going to not go with a quarterback and go with Michael Thomas. Last year he missed something like 12 games. He really costed me in fantasy a lot last year. And Drew Brees had a noodle arm, so he wasn't even that good when he did play. Yes, you can make fun of all you want of Jameis Winston, but he can throw the ball. He gets stats, so that's going to help Michael Thomas get back to Offensive Player of the Year that he just was 2 years ago.
And my Comeback Player of the Year is also Dak Prescott. With that knee injury, I think he's just going to come back from it. Dak Prescott is a really good quarterback, and he's shown that in the past. So I think he's just gonna do it. Who is your sleeper pick that you have?
Sleeper team or sleeper player?
Player.
Sleeper players. Well, I just have, as a Giants fan, I have their offense. I think Kenny Galladay will have a big year, and Saquon Barkley is being slept on because he's been injured, but I think he can be RB1 again. And David Montgomery, another guy to watch. He, at the end of last year, was a touchdown machine, just 100 yards after 100 yards. He was big. And Damian Harris, he's being slept on a lot. He has all the tools he needs to become a star, and he has Bill Belichick, the greatest coach in the league, with so much potential of an O-line and so many weapons that the defense has to worry about. I think he'll be a star.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Ben. I think a lot of those things I really agree with. I really think that Kenny Galladay is somebody who no one really he gets yards after yards. But my main pick is David Montgomery. I think he just is going to keep getting yards and yards. They're just going to keep running the football.
All right, I'm gonna go with an interesting one, and that's gonna be Christian Kirk of the Cardinals. I think their offense is gonna be really good this year, and I think last year Kyler Murray was actually injured at the end of the season, causing their offense to slow down. And Christian Kirk had some really good games down the stretch, and I think he's gonna take some pressure off of DeAndre Hopkins this year, and he's gonna really help elevate the Cardinals to compete for the first place in their division.
I think we take a step over and look at the defensive rookie of the year, and I have the Giants' Azeez Ojulari. I mean, what can you not like about this guy? He has all the tools. He has speed, he has size, he has strength. He'll be flying off the edge, getting sacks. He'll be making tackles from anywhere. I think he'll just be a sack machine. I'd say 8 sacks with 75 plus tackles. I think he'll be great.
I'm going to go with Zaven Collins, the linebacker that drafted 16 to the Cardinals. I personally didn't really know too much about all these defensive players because it's really an offensive-minded class. But I think he's the only guy that I can really think of that I think can really win it outside of a cornerback.
And I might think, maybe being a little Broncos biased, but Patrick Surtain is somebody that a lot of people might think might have a pretty good season this year. I'm one of those people. I think he did a really good job in college, and I think he can keep doing that in the pros.
All right. So I'm just going to finish off the rest of my things.
That's what I'm going to do, too.
Offensive Player of the Year, DeAndre Hopkins. Defensive Player of the Year, Marlon Humphrey. Then for my AFC Championship, I have the Titans and Bills. Titans winning that match. And the NFC Championship, I have Rams, Bucks. I got Rams. Then the Super Bowl, Titans are going to win it in a very good offensive game. I think Derrick Henry will be a star, and you could also expect Julio Jones to do a lot. A very balanced Rams team keeps it close. So.
Now, wrapping my stuff out, Offensive Player of the Year, I had 2 guys in mind that aren't boring old pick. I ended up going with Travis Kelce because I think he's going to outplay Tyreek Hill this year as a tight end and maybe the first ever tight end to win Offensive Player of the Year. I'm not 100% sure. And I have him just beating out my favorite player in the league, DK Metcalf, just because I've liked him since he's been drafted, but I went with Kelce. And Defensive Player of the Year, I have, how weird is it that Jalen Ramsey plays for the Rams? Rams and Ramsey. But I have Jalen Ramsey. I think he should have won it last year, but he didn't, so I think he's going to win it this year. And then going to my sleeper teams are the Chargers and the Cardinals. And my Super Bowl, I have the Bills over the Bucks in probably a pretty close game.
And finishing off my stats, I have the 49ers as my sleeper team. I think that they're going to make it all the way to the NFC Championship, where they lose to the Rams. And in the Super Bowl, I have the Chiefs versus the Rams, and I think the Chiefs win.
And that's going to be all today. I'm Ben Weinstein, along with Beck Blair and Jackson Kramer. We'll see you next time on Talk All Sports.
Yay!
right.